All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Hymns of the Heretics, Cult Divinity Lost Story. Um, it's been a while. There's been a lot of stuff going on. It's the summer. People are going on vacations, and oh yeah, so next week I won't be around because I also will be traveling. So, um, just FYI. We um there's a lot going on in in the lives of our characters. So as a reminder, a lot of the um exciting things that happen in Cult are pretty mature. They might be um, you know, scary, disturbing, people who are sensitive to violence or to gore or horror might be, you know, might need to take a break. Um, and all right, let's see. Since the last time we got together, or rather the last time we got together, there have been a lot of um changes for everyone. We can start actually with James. So, Jonathan, you're muted if you're.
Oh, I was like, no, don't do that. I was hoping you didn't notice my hand motions. I am not prepared. But yeah, go ahead. I'll start. I'll go
Well,
first.
no, it's okay. I mean, I'm right now kind of just doing a rundown.
Okay.
So, the James's church has kind of proven itself to be opposed to the traditional values that your dad taught you, and worse, the values of principled journalism. You suspect that um, the prophet that you were taught to venerate might be implanting visions in the parishioners, and you are thinking that there might have to be some kind of showdown for you to, yeah, so you're thinking that there might need to be a showdown between you and the priest or the prophet, etc. Um, Meanwhile, Marcia, um, you're the community that you were born and raised in Snook, Texas, has been sending horrible supernatural attacks against you. Seems like their intent is to um, drag you back. You've found solace here, and it seems like at least this latest iteration of the church, with kind of Nayeli at its head, is able to keep you safe for now. Josh, your dreams continue to warn you about awakening, about awakening too early. Nayeli Young has revealed to you that awakening is at the core of uh, the revelation of this religion, far beyond what you had far beyond what the original prophet had ever kind of revealed. Willow. Willow has been broken by the secrecy and violence, um, the supernatural goings on, and of course, haunted by your grandfather's history.
Willow generally is not doing well.
Not doing well. Freya. Has found a dossier detailing her life that was kept by the church. The church selected Freya to be a survivor after the end times. You know that Freya knows that her parents were active participants in this weird kind of act of grooming. You know that there's been a upheaval. So I don't know that I think Cole, not Cole, I think Josh was around for some of this, maybe not for all of it. But you know that there has been an upheaval that many of the people in this very traditionally patriarchal, kind of traditionally Christian community have abandoned allegiance to the prophet Isaiah and have instead chosen to follow um, pastors Melvin Young and his wife Nayeli Young. The majority of you, or all of you, are now staying at their house, and which has become essentially a compound, um, protected by arms, high fences, barbed wire, and some kind of supernatural activity. Um, let's see. Well, let's start off with a roll. Willow, go ahead and roll for your liar disadvantage.
Oh boy. I don't want to be broken more.
Yeah.
Well,
How
Okay.
much more
yeah,
broken
no.
can you be, though?
I am at the bottom of the list.
Yeah. See, nowhere else to fall. Fine.
Only way is up.
John
I
gets
mean,
it.
I don't doubt me. I can always dig deeper.
Famous last words. All right. So now that we've had a little bit of a refresher of kind of where we're all at, um, are there any questions, thoughts, ideas before we continue to kind of push forward onto the next thing?
Not for me.
Same.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think we're good.
Sunday comes and goes. All of you, um, oh gosh, I forgot what was the last thing that y'all remember doing? I rewatched it, took notes, and then I forgot.
I know we had the whole fiasco with the record keeper,
Okay.
and then we had gone back to the compound. I don't think did we do anything after that?
Okay, so that's a good beat. So you had the fiasco with the record keeper. Was Josh around for that?
I don't think so.
No. Okay. So let's do this. So kind of half in character, half out. There's like a process of the group like relaying everything that's happened
Hmm.
Zach,
to Josh.
Zach doesn't know.
So I have no idea what happened last game. I'm so far out of this.
So this is so I'm just now realizing that that was la the last game, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty sure.
Yeah, y'all played one without me when I was in Texas, right?
Probably
I'm getting
possibly. I don't
confirmation
know.
from the audience that I can get I know a surefire way to get a confirmation. Did
Cool.
you do you remember the record keeper and going to her place?
I think so.
So then, yeah, it's that one. That's the one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gotta be.
You would remember. Like, it'd be a situation. It wouldn't be like a, I
Okay.
Oh
gotta
yeah.
check my notes. It'd be like a, oh yeah. It'd be like one of those, right?
Yeah, that
Or
was real bad
or it would be more like, oh no.
Friendships were forged that day.
and lost that day.
Well, in character, sure. We're having
Oh, of
fun.
course.
Okay.
I know, I fucked up.
So, um, let's say like uh the there's a there's like a beat at night, that night before everybody's like gone to bed where um who we have Marsha here, we have Willow, we've got James, and we've got Josh. So let's say the four of you are sitting around somewhere like um at 1:48 a.m. like um drinking a hot tea. Sorry, um James, there's no alcohol in the house. Um I know that everybody had kind of like decided to go to bed already or whatever, but re, re let's re let's kind of go back and flash back it and say that there was a moment for the four of you to catch up. How would you all explain to Josh what happened?
Well, I have a question.
Yeah,
Um, so was Josh here when we were out there, right?
yeah. Let's say I would
Was he in
say
the firefight?
could be,
Maybe do a
could be.
fight. I mean, because I'd like to see what he brings to the table word wise. Because I mean, I'm genuinely interested in that perspective, out of character and in character. But
Okay.
yeah,
So let's put it on the table, Josh. So one of the things out of character, kind of
Yeah.
above the table, one of the things that happened while they were out having their little romp around the suburbs, um, the prophet
Mhm.
um, sent his goons and himself to the young house with guns to threaten the upstart group, kind of as a result of the meddling that the crew was doing, you know.
Okay.
And there was a firefight right outside the compound. So there's a possibility that, they sent Josh to go do some bullshit, to like go count beans in some warehouse. Or it's possible that he was there, putting bullets into, parishioners. Which do you
Oh,
prefer?
I'm sure Josh was in the firefight.
Beautiful. Okay. So whatever details kind of emerge from your idea of what that firefight would have been like will become canon.
Okay.
Um, but first you are getting the explanation of basically what caused the firefight to begin with.
Was it
So the four of you are kind of seated like in let's say a storage. Feel like the storage rooms are pretty much everything in this house has become storage. So like there's no living room, there's no sitting room, there's no library really. It's all storage. So the four of you find somewhere to sit on some crates, and how do you explain what happened?
after whatever details we get about what happened
Hmm.
here? Because obviously we came in as the cops were leaving, or
Right.
yeah. Um, I would say they were chasing us. They knew where we were headed, and they lost us and probably tried to cut us off, and that's why they were here. The reason why they were chasing us, we went to the record keeper. Um,
The hell's the record keeper?
so there's a keeper of records for the church that
Was.
that's a very good way of putting it. There was a record keeper for the church, um, and we wanted to speak with her. Unfortunately, I felt that we had already made a mistake upon arrival. I was kind of called into it and felt kind of bad how we started. There was a camera, you see, scoping out
Mm,
where we met up, so they basically have proof that they were talking to me. And from what I heard, I was someone that you can't talk to anymore. I was told I was removed from the church by the prophet. So I made a quick decision to try and help these folks not get caught out and judged by the church. And I drove my car through the record keeper's front door.
and
She
through the record keeper,
no, she pulled a shotgun on me. I
you did drive a truck through her store.
it's true. Well, I actually drive a car.
Huh.
I know most folks you're aware of drive trucks, but so the
We'll get you a truck.
I'd appreciate it. It would probably do better at these like tasks. Um, so she pulled a shotgun on me, and I tried to talk her down, and asked her about the camera outside because again I was trying to make sure that Freya and the others were protected and that the prophet didn't see them talking to me because the judgment would be horrendous. She said it's already on the internet, and I told her, it's fine. Um, I think I called her pretentious or something, and then
Mm.
she shot at my leg, and then oh God, his name's Cole. Cole, sorry. He used some kind of holy light and melted the record keeper. Um, Freya got some books. We got some records as well from the prophet, specifically proving that the prophet before him was responsible for my father's death. Um, so I feel very justified, despite that woman and what happened to her.
Let's take a beat. How does um how does Willow respond or react when James is like, "Oh yeah," and then Cole, your brother, melted the record keeper.
I think there's like an immediate tense, like tension coming from Willow, because this is Willow does not know how to handle any of what's happening right now. So it's bad enough that they're going through the upheaval of the church and all that's going on.
Hmm.
But then to see your brother melt someone is a lot, especially because it was not at all how Willow wanted things to go down, and it happened so quickly. There's nothing Willow could do. So yeah, it's just very tense energy right now.
What about Marsha?
Hearing that that's how that lady died. You mean?
Yeah, because I guess Marsha, you weren't there in that room when that happened.
True.
So the kind of like the reality of it all is kind of cracking open for you in this moment.
I don't I think she's still frazzled by the whole events of it anyway, you know?
Hmm.
Like that's really not something she would never put herself in a situation like that, you know? And
Hmm.
then hearing that that's how she died was by the use of his holy instrument that she thinks is so amazing. She's like, now she's thinking twice about Cole that he's not using his powers 100% for good. He should be.
I have a thought.
Yeah.
Or maybe that proves to the more devout that they were evil because,
The holy light burnt them.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Would
Like,
the divine light have harmed those who did not deserve it?
But if you were there, I don't think anybody deserves to drive a car through something.
Or
so
to be melted in it like a nuclear explosion.
so I think that that's probably like the difference in this beat maybe between Marsha and Josh, right? Because
Hmm.
Josh has seen that like holy radiance wreck one of those devil things, demon things, right? At the
Mm-hmm.
very start of it all with Miss Ethel. And you know, you didn't see James drive his fucking car through that door. Like
Right.
that was like for Marsha, that was like weird and crazy. And
Yeah.
then like you add the sacred microwave, that's like just crazy on crazy. For Josh, it's like, oh yeah, using holy light to vanquish evil. That makes sense.
Of course. Why wouldn't you? The holy light wouldn't work if she wasn't evil.
Exactly. Would you say that? Or something like that? Well, I don't know
Oh,
why
I
you would say
don't.
that.
Not unless it was prompted.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I don't think James would have prompted it. He just matter of factly just describes it, and then like he
Yeah.
describes, we then all jumped in the car and drove, and we were being chased by the church vans. They
You
apparently
think
were.
that's why this fucking house is riddled with bullet holes?
If there were church vans and a bunch of guys that weren't very good at shooting or using rifles, then yeah,
I
probably.
didn't say they hit much, just the fucking house.
Well, I mean, I'm not a very good shot, and you know that, Josh, and I couldn't. I could probably hit the house.
So yeah, Josh, you know that it was, it was churchmen and church
Mhm,
vans that
mhm.
came and shut up the house, and that, um, at some point, um, like it's confirmed, like you all kind of like put two and two together, and based on what Nayeli said, yeah, these events are likely what set off the the crackdown, which failed. The Prophet's crackdown
Yeah,
failed.
he underestimated.
Um Marsha would like to do a thing like before, like after everybody explains everything, Marsha wouldn't explain nothing. Um, but um, I just want to make sure, like, as everyone leaves the room, Marsha wants to pull Josh aside and talk to him separately.
Yeah, perfect.
Josh, I am never leaving this house without you ever again. That was the most ridiculous thing. I don't even know about those people. Willow invited everyone out to this archives, and apparently no one was supposed to be there but them. And then uh James drove his car through the house because the lady wouldn't let him in at the door. And I just sat in the car the whole time. I wanted to call the cops, but I called Naeli and she said, we're already there, get the documents. So I didn't even know that they killed anybody inside until they just said something. Like Freya's the only one I feel like that has her head on her shoulders because she didn't go in the house and she seemed freaked out by the whole events.
Oh, 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 go ahead.
And then on the way home, Willow is seducing the cop that,
I forgot about that.
I was talking to the cop and then Willow's over here making eyes and stuff and giving their phone number out. Never. I'm never leaving the house with them again. They're not safe.
That sounds like that was a lot for you there, Marcia.
They said we were just going to the archives. I thought it was a coffee shop. I didn't know. And then we get there and they're like, we're not supposed to be here. What'd you invite 10 people to go for?
Well, I'm gonna be real honest with you here, Marcia. I don't think you're gonna like it. But I think more people are gonna get hurt before this all here ends. That what was it, record keeper? James called her.
Yeah.
She was probably just the beginning. I think we need to get ready to steel ourselves against this oncoming war. You saw the house when you pulled up.
I saw that. Yeah.
My pickup's got a flat front and left tire because of those bullets.
That's unfortunate.
They didn't shoot at you. They shot at me and they shot at us. I think they're going to come back and shoot again. So I think you better be ready for that, Marcia. And I don't know if we should be too scared of these holy weapons we got on our side. Since it seems like we've got the right prophet in James.
But as long as they use it the right way, like they didn't have to.
I don't think you and I are to say what is and isn't the right way. I think that's for the lords to decide.
Yeah. They give and they take away, and if they don't find
It
Cole
all works
worthy,
out in the end.
they take it from him, right?
I like to believe that.
All
In
right.
fact, I choose to believe that.
I just wanted you to know what really happened because I feel like they're downplaying, and you know, I I don't know. I don't know if I trust them 100%. They put us in those situations.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust anyone 100%. Takes a lot to get there. But they got you out. safe and sound, didn't they?
I drove. It was, yeah,
You got them out safe and sound, didn't you?
James, I can get it. He's a little upset about things. And then Willow, I just don't know.
Sure.
I just want you to be careful around them and please don't leave with them. At least go. I know you'll go equipped, but I just want you to know what happened when I left with
Of course. Maybe next time you don't go without me.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I should.
Well, to be honest, I'm glad I was here. I don't know if things would have ended so well against those two vans that pulled up.
You're right. I think you were needed here.
As I said before, I'm not one to question how things work out, but it does seem to work out all in the end.
You're right, Josh. You're right. And I feel better talking to you.
Well, if it makes you feel better.
All right, I'll say goodnight. I'll see you in the morning.
Till the morning.
All right. After these conversations, everyone can can heal one stability.
Oh, thank God.
Welcome back
Now
to
I'm just unhinged.
welcome back to the chart.
Yeah, I went from distressed to shaken.
I am distressed now.
Oh, that must be nice for you.
All the way up there.
I've been stabbed a lot more than I've been shaken.
You know, someone who's not mentioning a lot about where they are on the tracker is Kimmy. I think she's probably doing a lot better than all of us.
I think so.
Marsha's so fucking stable.
I'm unfocused, but I'm good.
Oh, no. Unfocused.
I'm not saying you should pick a new target, Shisho, but
I mean,
But we're just putting everything on the table.
No, you are
Marsha
6 levels of focus higher than I am.
Marsha is making interesting choices, you know?
You see what happens when you have the Lord on your side?
Wow.
God just loves Marsha more.
Prophet James. I believe that was said during that conversation. I
Oh
wrote it
God.
down.
That was frightening. Oh God. Okay. Well, um, Monday morning, everyone, while sleeping in this compound, is immune to um, any nightmare related, uh, attacks. Uh, James, you are welcome to try to use your ability in this
Nope.
space. Okay?
I'm good. I'm just I have no alcohol. I'm just gonna try and sleep.
Okay. It's a new dawn, a new morning. Josh, you are camping out in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Marcia, it's interesting. When you arrived, Marcia, you were kind of like, put in like a fairly small guest room with kind of like just like a twin mattress, and like a modest little like wardrobe and like a little desk, a very modest kind of tiny guest room. But as more and more people have arrived, a lot of the other spaces in the home have been turned into storage. many of the larger guest rooms have been turned into dormitory style spaces with like kind of bunks installed. So even the master bedroom has been kind of partitioned, and Nayeli and Melvin are kind of like in a partition of their bedroom. Um, you know, you somehow have managed to have kind of like the largest bedroom here. Um, it is sort of like this unspoken luxury and kind of place of authority that's been um it's like it wasn't really awarded to you. It's kind of like you're just there and no one had the nerve to like tell you to move. So you wake up in uh, dawn comes and you're in your comfortable room. Um, James and James and Willow, you're probably bunking in one of the dormitory spaces. Um, who else? Am I missing someone? No, that's four. Yeah. Um, Probably Cole and Jenny are, put somewhere because they have a baby, so they're kind of partitioned, maybe closer to the Youngs. Um, and Freya will probably be also given a dormitory space. So there's a new day. Are people gonna try to pretend like it's, life as usual? I
I
mean, okay, go ahead,
I
James.
am going to find a quiet place unless someone specifically kind of pulls me aside and tells
Mm-hmm.
me I'm supposed to be doing something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to sit in that quiet space and I'm going to turn on my my not church phone and I'm just going to trudge through crawler for all day if nobody talks to me.
Okay. So you're kind of uh like dissociating, vegetating, like it's too much. I need a break.
You
Okay.
betcha.
Um, Willow, you do have a job.
I don't think Willow's going today. I'm kind of Willow's kind of in the same boat as wow, I'm forgetting names already. Um, as Jonathan's character.
Which is James.
James?
James, thank you. Oh my god, it's literally my middle name, and I couldn't remember it.
Cody James, that is so cute.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's my grandfather's name, and it also sounds like an old Western name. So
it
yeah, my
does.
parents liked it. But but I'm doing the opposite. Like I'm just pretending that everything's fine. Like fully dissociated, trying to make that things are normal. So I'm helping with dishes. I'm making food. I'm doing like whatever to keep my mind busy and away from the thoughts.
So basically, you're lying,
Yeah,
pretending, acting
exactly.
like everything is fine.
Yep.
So you definitely um fail.
Yeah.
And it's like the people that are around you that are probably not that insightful are looking at you and like, what the fuck? That's weird behavior. The people that are very insightful might be like, oh, you know, Willow's been through it, right? Willow, the
Right.
kind of golden child of the organization, is has just like pledged an allegiance against the like most beloved and respected and venerated elder in the community. And that takes its toll. Also, people who are really in the know, like Nayeli and her husband Melvin, are looking at you like, oh, you've been through some fucked up shit, like real fucked up shit, and witnessing, you know, the death of the archivist, for example. Oh, we have an Andy.
Hello,
Hey,
hello. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yeah,
Super.
welcome
congratulations
back.
Thank
on
you.
your award.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Is it working? Hold on a second here.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah,
Oh
there
my
you are.
gosh. Wow. All right.
Well, welcome back and welcome back from your trip and
All the things.
all the things.
Well, now
Okay.
I feel underdressed.
Right?
Sorry.
I know we're over here like looking like hill people in our like
You look so nice, Andy.
That's so
Baja
nice of you,
Blast
Kimmy. Thank
Baja
you.
Blast t-shirt. Yeah, I mean, I've never not seen Andy look nice, so
That's
So
true.
sweet.
okay. So let's catch you up.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically, we're still reeling from that Sunday of killing the archivist.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the aftermath of the Isaiah's attack on the compound. We've figured out that Josh was at the compound and he uh did his share of damage in killing some of the parishioners that were attacking. Um, Everybody got to talk together and process, and so everyone got to heal one uh, stability.
Oh, we
So we
need
can
that.
say that Cole, was part of that as well.
Mm.
And so Cole can heal one stability. Oh, you're
I'm
not in Finder
working
yet.
on
Okay.
that right now.
No worries, no worries. Um, James and Marcia and Willow caught Josh up about the goings on the um at the archives, which Marcia adorably thought was a coffee shop. Um, and now um the night after, so the morning after, um, James is uh kind of binge scrolling on his phone. Uh, Willow is pretending like everything's fine, despite taking the day off from work. Everybody can clearly see that nothing is fine with Willow and that they're, on on the edge. What about Marcia? What is Marcia doing this morning?
Marcia is going to work today.
Marcia said, "You know what? I need a break. Let's go to Bucky's
He
and put in
attacked.
some work."
I feel like he's not gonna know who I am. He's gonna attack this place, the compound, not me
Hmm.
personally. So I'm going to work.
Hmm.
It
Okay.
seems safe.
Yeah. So you um let's say you have would you rather have an early morning shift or an evening shift?
Mm, morning shift.
Okay. So you have to get up pretty early, right? You probably have to leave the house at like, you know, 5:30, 6, maybe even earlier to get there and kind of do help with the shift change. Are Bucky's 24 hours?
Yeah,
I
that
don't,
was it.
they are, right?
Mm.
Yeah, so you're helping with that shift change. Um, and so it's like still dark. Um, Marcia has her own car, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take a beat. Josh, you could very easily become the kind of like security czar for the Youngs and quit at Bucky's. They probably couldn't give you a very like a proper wage, but you could probably, I mean, you have free room and board, obviously, and all the guns you could possibly desire. So, what do you think? Do you think you're still keeping your gig at Bucky's, or do you think you are transitioning?
If you're talking, you're muted.
I
Ju-
don't.
uh,
What would Marcia think about him not working at Bucky's anymore?
I think when things started, maybe Marcia would have put him on like a leave, a
Right.
temporary leave. So you're still employed and can come back whenever you want, when you choose.
But if I choose not to,
Then I mean, it's just
okay.
then you just don't return. But I think like when things were happening, and because I think you were more important than me, so
Aw.
well, you're doing all the military stuff, right? And setting up and teaching them how to be more
Yeah.
safe
Yeah.
and safeguard, that I would have maybe come to you and been like, maybe I should put you on leave. That way you can handle stuff here and you can come back. And then
Yeah, that makes sense.
you don't come back, you don't come back.
Okay, so you're on leave. All right. So what is Josh doing then the morning after?
Probably fixing his truck.
Okay, yeah. Gotta prioritize that. You can easily, secure all the supplies
Yeah.
needed. The Youngs want you to be mobile and um, you know, they've come to really trust you with
Hmm.
um, and want to keep you as mobile as possible. So, all right, working on your truck. What about Cole? Cole, you're muted on Zoom.
Yes. I'm sorry, say again?
Cole, you've had a really fucked up day yesterday.
Yeah.
Um,
Could you remind me of my day yesterday?
yeah, so you got invited on a fun little trip to the archives.
Oh, right.
Nobody was supposed to be there, and um, everyone got busted. James drove his car through the door. Um, Everybody crawled in through a window. The archivist was about to murder James for
Right.
breaking and entering and driving his car through the door.
Yep.
And so Cole unleashed, this like sacred radiance and microwaved
That's right. She
uh,
was a crisp.
the archivist.
Mm.
And then you all hightailed it out of there. You came back to the compound, realized that there had been basically this, shootout. Um, Jenny was there. Your daughter, um, Kaylee was there. They
Hmm.
weren't hurt, just
Hmm.
frightened. Cole had a little bit of a breakdown in the evening, but everyone's had a chance to kind of talk and kind of chill out. And now it's a new day.
Hmm. So what is I guess he'd be curious about what's Mrs. Young's name again?
Nayeli.
Nayeli. What Nayeli is doing at this moment. Um,
So Nayeli is sitting with Jenny, you and Jenny have been given a partition of the really big, spacious master bedroom in this house.
wow.
As this how well, it's not as spacious now that it's been partitioned, but since you have a baby and you're a married pair, you've kind of been given the space, and you're very close to Yeli and Melvin's space where they have their kids. And so you're kind of like awakened by Jenny and Nayeli kind of like poring over documents together and basically what as you wake up and you can hear them talking, they're sort of like figuring out the legality of ownership of a lot of the church's assets, where some things are like in Melvin's name or in the names of other parishioners. Some things are in Isaiah's name. Some things don't really seem to have any ownership at all. And so there's this there's this new kind of like level of of war that appears, right? Like there's a spiritual level, there's a level that's like pure violence, and now you realize there's also kind of like this legal war that is gonna that is like
Mm-hmm.
emerging.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, um, sort of a coup, perhaps.
Yeah, so as far as you know, like the coup has happened, and probably a majority of the people in your congregation have chosen to follow Nayeli. That's, I don't think we talked about that specifically altogether. So we'll say that as of now, um, Cole, because of your proximity to Nayeli and to Melvin, you're starting to understand that your core congregation, like the people that you go to church with here in this community, um, have, you know, have become disillusioned with Isaiah, the majority, and that's why they sort of had enough. But you also know that there is like a diaspora of believers across the US, and th that it is unlikely that this coup has reached them.
Hmm. So we're still just a splinter group of people, not the majority of people. Isaiah still has the majority,
Right.
right?
But
Okay.
the most like intensely as far as you know, like the there's like a really big chunk of people here. It's like, let's say, um, like if all of Utah like switched over to like a new Mormon prophet, but then there would still be like Mormons all over the United States, right? So it's
Right.
like you've got a big chunk,
Mm-hmm.
a big chunk, maybe half, maybe more than
Okay.
half, but there's still a smattering that are probably loyal to Isaiah.
Okay. Um, I guess what he would be thinking is, are we like, so I'm not in a position to say anything to Nayeli at this point, right? Because they're behind another partition. Is that right?
No, I mean, they've pulled up a table and they're
Okay.
in your
Okay.
space and
Okay.
you know, they're not hiding from you.
Okay. I mean, in that case, I would say something like, are we worried about reprisal from Isaiah directly on the compound?
Well, now that the police has gotten involved, I don't know. I don't think so. Um, I think it would be really foolish of him. But there are other assets that we have scattered throughout the region that might be targets for him. Um, there's, um, well, there's the church for one. Um, there are other congregants have developed smaller versions of what we have here. That might be targets um, for violence from Isaiah. I wonder if the bigger threat is spiritual.
And by that you mean Isaiah's power? Or what power, what forces he tapped into?
Right.
Hmm. So you're not looking to make this group of us here into a new version of the religious belief. We're looking to take this and ultimately make it the mainstream version.
Jenny pipes up. Cole, soon there won't be a mainstream because the world will end. And
Ah,
ours will be the only church that survives.
Cole would grab her and hold her hand, gently hold her hand after she says that.
Do you believe that? Do you believe what she's saying?
I don't know. I mean, I know weird things have been happening. Weird things have been happening to him. He doesn't really know what to believe. Um, I'm not sure, honestly, about the whole chosen people thing, but a little, yeah, I don't know.
So I think Jenny clocks your ambivalence. Um, she cools a bit. Not like she doesn't like draw back her hand or anything, but you notice like a little bit of cooling in her affection. Nayeli kind of picks up the baton and says, "That's right, Jenny. Um, Sooner rather than later, the world that we know will be transformed, and that is why we have to become even more adept than Isaiah at awakening."
Mm. He would just say to both of them, like very sincerely, I mean, okay, I'm very confused right now. I don't know what's going on with me or these changes that are happening. I'm just very confused about what's happening. I want to try to help.
Nayeli looks at you with a great deal of empathy and compassion, and she says, "You feel the awakening spirit of Malkuth burgeoning within you, and that is so beautiful, and that is what will free all of us and allow all of us to survive in the coming times. Now that we are free from Isaiah's corrupt grasp, we can all study together. There's no more pretense about patriarchy and gender and all of that other nonsense that threatened to sink us, but that, and she kind of raises a hand, like mitigating her her displeasure and disgust with it. I recognize that it had to be part of the plan for a while the culture caught up, but here we are now.
Okay.
Whenever Marcia gets home, from her shift at work, we'll probably do another study session. Um, I would love for you and Jenny to attend.
We would like that.
This is me above the table. Oh, speaking for your wife. Okay, interesting.
We would love that, you would say, and looking at Jenny.
She nods.
Okay.
Okay, so Josh fixing the car, Marcia. It is, barely light out, and you are making your way towards Bucky's. It's a fairly it is a fairly trafficked route. Um, you don't encounter any any church vans coming to get you or anything. Um, when you arrive at Bucky's, you park. You hear a scraping noise beneath you. What do you do?
Am I still in the car or outside the car?
You're in your car. You're facing the store. It's not empty. It's not isolated. Occasionally a person walks in or out. It's well lit, but you hear scraping underneath your car.
She's gonna back up and go park her car somewhere else.
Okay. As soon as you park, you hear the scraping again.
Okay, she's gonna open her door and listen. But like when she opens her door, it's just enough for like she could fit her hand through type of thing. So not like completely wide open.
Okay. You can choose to observe a situation. Oh, did you hear that rolling sound?
I
Was that
did.
always there?
I don't remember it.
Okay.
It's me.
You can ask one question.
What is being hidden from me?
Marcia, you can in your mind's eye, you can kind of you receive this picture. It's hard to say exactly how or why. Um, you think, oh shit. Well, okay, it's not on our list. I know that you hate this, but it's not on the list, so we're gonna use it. So long, thin, kind of spidery legs, kind of crawling uh underneath your car, against the underside of your car.
So it's not one of those creatures, but it's like a giant spider.
You hear its kind of blubbery mass sliding around underneath like up against the ground and up against the underside of your car as its legs kind of skitter against the underside.
Okay, she's gonna shut the door, lock the doors, and then because that'll protect her, and call Josh.
Hello.
Josh.
Josh, there's one of those creatures. It's under my car at work. I don't.
Yeah,
I can't get out.
it's under your car.
Yeah,
You're in the car.
yeah.
All right, stay there. He like hangs up the phone and immediately gets in his truck. Doesn't say a word. Like I imagine I'm done fixing it at this point.
Okay. Do you go alone?
Um, he'll honk the horn of his truck and see if anybody is near enough and cares enough to listen.
I'm gonna say that, all player characters are near enough to the
Yeah,
horn.
so that's up to them if they hear and want to come.
Uh, yeah, I guess I'd be distracted away from my phone pretty easily. Like, yeah, I'll go figure out what's going on outside.
Okay. James approaches the car. Beat. Anyone else?
I think Willow, against their better judgment, is going to go as well. Fully expecting more trauma, but something seems up. So yeah.
Okay. Willow approaches the car. Beat. Um, um, Cole, are you away from your computer? Can you hear us? Oh, you're muted anyway. Doesn't matter. Okay. So we'll see. So the two of you approach. Uh, Joshua, how do you?
If
Uh,
Cole knows that Willow's going, Cole would want to go.
The only thing that you know is that Willow. If Willow's going, so you see
Yes,
Willow kind
it's
of
a
approach this car.
brother thing.
Okay, yeah, sibling thing. So you see Willow approach the car, and I assume you go
yeah,
as well.
Josh, as he sees people approaching, Josh rolls down the window and yells out, "Marsh is in trouble! Move faster!"
I rush into the car.
And as people pile in, he'll take off.
Okay.
I
Um.
probably would have jumped in the front.
Okay. So James has got shotgun, and then we've got siblings Willow and um Cole in the back.
Yeah, Josh takes off.
All right. So it'll take, 15 to 20 minutes for you to get there. All the
It's the best I
while,
can do, Marsha. Good Godspeed.
Marcia, are kind of like imagining this thing kind of crawling around underneath your car. Um,
Can Marsha just drive around the parking lot?
yeah, you know when the it seems like when you're moving around, the engine's on, and you're actually running the engine and moving it around, it seems to not be as active.
Or at least I can't hear it.
Right. So as Josh pulls into the Bucky's parking lot, um, you see Marsha driving around like a crazy person.
Is there a creature anywhere near?
You can't see one.
Then he'll pull up into a parking spot and kind of honk his horn to try and get Marsha's attention.
Marsha would have clocked his truck when it came in, so she's gonna not park next to him, like park a couple spaces down.
Rolls down the window. I don't see nothing.
You can choose to observe a
Yeah,
situation.
I guess I will. Partial
Okay.
success.
You get to choose one question.
Uh, what is being hidden from me?
As soon as Marsha's car stops, you see these like spiky, spindly, spidery legs kind of like poking out from the bottom, reaching out up towards her uh driver door.
Oh, when he sees that, he'll pop out of the vehicle and say, "Move, move, 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 move! Start driving," and try to get her to start driving again, so the legs tuck back underneath.
Okay.
Gonna listen and
Okay.
do as he said.
Can I try to get out of the car and engage in combat by like laying down and lining up a shot to try and hit this thing underneath?
Yeah, absolutely.
Such an action hero.
So actually, you're gonna get a +1 to this because of your observation.
I have a passive instinct that gives me a +2 when I act on observe
Okay, beautiful.
things.
So then it'll be a +2.
Cool.
Beautiful. So, you fire your weapon and you very clearly see, well, before you fire your weapon, you very clearly see this kind of like bl it's kind of like the creatures you've been seeing, except it's a little smaller.
Mhm.
It's bulbous, kind of bloated with weird spider legs. With one shot, it like explodes um, underneath Marsha's car, sending like gross demon goo just all over. Um, Marsha, you feel that pop underneath your car as Josh, lays down on his side and fires underneath you. What do you do?
Probably slam on my brakes and just watch Josh. And maybe like wave my hands and I don't know if you can hear through the window, but be saying, "Well, what happened? Did you get it? What do I do now?"
Is it moving?
No, it's toast. You like exploded it.
Then he'll like slowly get up from prone, uh, like put the safety on and just like sling the gun around his shoulder. I think you're all set to pull back in. Points to the parking spot where she was.
James would like to get out of the car at this point.
Okay.
he will kind of come around to the side where Josh is, and once she parks, he's going to do a quick scan of the Bucky's parking lot. I'm assuming there are cameras.
Yeah, there are cameras.
Okay. I look at Josh. I look down at the bottom of the car, and I say, "We should put it in our truck. If she's here for work, we can take it back with us."
It's a good idea. Marcia, you need to get back inside or your shift done.
My shift hasn't started, right?
It's about to in a couple minutes.
Don't you want to try to see where that thing came from? Cole would say.
Well, we don't need Marcia for that now, do we?
Um, Marsha, would you be okay? Well, maybe not me. Would you be okay giving your keys to somebody else, not me?
Yeah, I don't think Josh, could you think you could pick me up at the end of my shift today? I don't think I want to drive anymore today.
That's okay. We can leave this thing here. I'll come back to my truck later. It's all fixed up.
Okay. And I would hand the keys to James since he asked.
Bold move.
You gotta
Oh, you're
You
right.
know what he does with vehicles.
He goes, thanks. With total confidence. And then
Immediately drives it through a wall.
Right.
Not again.
that'll do, boys.
Not at my job.
Oh, James.
But he would actually be more focused on getting underneath the car, seeing what it is, and trying to kind of like wrapping his blazer around his hand, kind of reach underneath and kind of grab it, and try and muscle it out from underneath the vehicle.
Yeah, so it's basically like if an oyster, like not the shell part, but like the gooey part of the oyster was like encased in like pimply chicken skin
Ah,
about this big, with all of these kind of like misshapen spider legs popping out the top of it, and a kind of it has two holes in it. One with like a bunch of weird, kind of like misshapen shark teeth, and then a hole where uh, Josh exploded it.
Okay. So before she wanders off, James is going to kind of like pull on that a bit and then look at Josh for help, but then look to Marcia and say, "Look, here's the story. You drove to work, you hit something on the way, it was some sort of animal. You called Josh because you know he's a kind of survivory guy, and he helped you get it out from underneath your car. The reason why we shot it was to put it out of its misery. If anybody asks any questions, okay?"
Okay.
All right. And then looks to Josh again, like, let's pull this thing out from underneath and then throw it in the back of Josh's truck and head back to the compound. Is
You're a
Cole?
real good rider. You just come up with that?
It's what I do for a living. I would look at
Uh,
Cole and Willow. Do either of you want to drive her car back to the compound?
for a split second, Willow's like, "I'm the one that's supposed to make things up."
oh. Yeah, Cole would drive the car back, sure.
Sure. Yeah, because again, I'm good, but I'm also at the same time understanding. I don't think she 100%. Anyways, let's head back. Do we get it out from under there?
Yeah, you easily dislodge it, and you have to crack some of its like weird crab legs,
I already
and
want to cook and eat it. You don't have to keep selling it. Uh,
this is worse than the lipped egg.
delicious
So,
dungeon.
I know. Oh no!
I'd
Oh
cook the lip egg.
no!
I'd cook the lip egg. So you're just
Uh,
you got a higher
okay.
palate than me, I guess.
Well, you throw it into the back of the pickup. You notice, you already know, I mean, you've seen this before, James, where with these weird things, they sort of like start to melt and liquefy. And, as kind of minutes go by, the the sack part of it starts to kind of like gooify and sort of start to fall apart a little bit. So the four of you jump into the truck. You're gonna head out. Marcia, you make your way into the store to finish your shift.
Yeah. But you know what? She's gonna stay in her office all day.
Okay, sounds good.
Seems safer there.
So the four of you, are you going right back to the compound?
I mean, yeah, or
I think so. Yeah.
we're not going to look for where like this incursion happened.
Where would you like to look?
I don't know.
Well, let me put something back on the table that kind of got shuffled out whenever the the archivist stuff came up. Is you were all starting to realize that Marsha's home church, like these things know about it and are talking about it.
If someone else brings that up, I just want to make sure the player's perspective on that is clear. James is not going to do it unless Marsha is going as well. Like, I'm not going to the old church unless we've got a Marsha on board. Or she very clearly gives her blessing. And I don't think that's been done yet.
That makes sense.
Right now, it is something that is sort of floating in the air. It's a memory that all of you have, but it doesn't seem like anybody's going like, "Hey, remember?"
Right.
Like these things are associated with the church. This is not so there's now like a clear cut like in terms of like knowledge inside of each of your heads. These things don't really have anything to do with Isaiah.
Okay. So it's less like a Buffy the Vampire Slayer Hellmouth, where there's a location that these things are spewing out of, and more connected to that particular church, and maybe somehow following around Marcia
Right.
because of her association with it. I'm just sort of thinking out loud.
I think those are
That's more
some.
thinking than this character does. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that makes sense. Uh, Cole, are you like, oh, are you traveling with Willow in Marsha's car?
Uh, he didn't say what he, but of course, if that'd be
What,
great if
what do
he
you
wanted
think,
to.
Willow?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think we would kind of stick together most of the time.
Yeah.
Okay. And so then we've got James and Josh in the truck. Do you like, is the, I really, I don't see this happening. Um, like uh, like a Bluetooth call between all the four of you. Are you just kind of like in your dyads, in your pairs?
I would say probably in the pairs.
Okay.
Could I ask a question of Willow when we're in the car driving back? Okay. Cole would say, "Have you heard from Isaiah?"
Uh, I got a, I think I got a text from Isaiah, right, that said like, "I know what you're doing," basically.
Yeah, yesterday afternoon, while y'all were, fucking around at the archivists, you got a text, but it's been radio silence since then.
Mm,
Yeah, so I would say like he definitely knows that we went to the archive. He's got that footage, but I haven't
you-
heard anything from him.
so you think that bridge is burned?
Almost certainly.
Mhm. You feel okay about that? I know that, you know, want
It's
to make.
I just feel like I'm kind of stuck. You know, it's I'm at the compound. I'm associated with this group of people but I don't want to give up on the church. But they probably wouldn't take me back at this point, and I don't know what to do.
Maybe I mean, Nayeli seems like the real deal. You wouldn't have to give up on the church. Maybe just Isaiah's sort of corrupt version of the church, you know?
Go ahead, and roll your fanatic disadvantage, Willow.
Oh god.
I get this.
Well, partial.
Okay. So that's not too bad. So you'll have a penalty on a roll.
Yeah. I think it's just Willow would be frustrated. Like there's no answer here that makes sense. There's nothing. There's no proof. There's no anything you do can and likely will be wrong. And I don't think that any of us are getting out of this unscathed.
I don't know what's happening to me. That's stuff that, I burned that lady alive. I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, I'll be honest, that freaked me out. That was a lot. I'm sure it freaked you out too, but
But what is that? What is that? Naeli said it's the awakening of the spirit of Malkuth burgeoning within me, but I mean, I just think back to our grandfather and, maybe cursed blood. I don't know. I hope that she's right though, and there's something positive and it's not something horrible.
I mean, I feel like she's just gonna say that, like it
Oh.
lines up with the story she wants us to believe. But you're right, like we've got some kind of history here.
Mhm. Okay. And then Jenny clearly is all in on Naeli's story, and I want to be there for her. But like you, I have these questions. Don't want to disappoint her either, so I feel stuck too.
Yeah, kind of in the same boat. My big thing is us. It's you, me, Jenny,
Mm-hmm.
your daughter, whose name above table I have
Yeah,
forgotten,
no
but
problem.
Willow certainly knows it.
Mm-hmm.
God,
But
I hope so.
Haley,
but it's us. That's
Yeah.
what I'm worried about here. And if this is the
you're her
choice that,
godfather, so you remember that.
yeah, of course,
Parent,
God,
like,
God person.
God.
God person. Sorry, God person.
No, you're good.
Thank you for that.
But yeah, that's what's important here. So if that's where this is heading, then I'm with you guys.
Good. I'm so glad to hear it, brother.
or sibling.
Sibling. Sure.
Person.
I mean, yeah. Okay. Sure. Thank you.
All right. So, I'm gonna go ahead on that nice little conversation. Gonna grant both of you a you can heal one stability.
Thank God.
Alright,
Now I'm
Zach,
back
you
to
wanna talk to
anxious.
me?
I'm just back to irrational.
All right. So now we take a beat. Josh and James, both very manly men, manly dudes,
Oh yeah.
riding in the truck.
A man truck.
Mm,
Yep.
yes.
Hmm
Hardcore role playing.
That's it. That's the
Mhm.
whole conversation on the way back. Is just Yep.
Yeah.
I will give
Uh,
you this, James, is Josh is probably one of the least kind of dogmatic people in this, organization. If you need to pick up booze, this is probably the right
Oh,
time.
we're already locked in.
Huh.
He called me I mean, my character doesn't know it, but me as the player knows. He called me prophet.
It
Oh,
knows what?
he called me the prophet.
Oh God damn it.
Yeah, during the conversation with Marsha, he said, "I think we're a better suited with the Prophet and James."
Well,
That
you
was a
know,
thing that was said that
That
I was
was.
people want to follow a prophet they feel they can have a drink with.
yeah, and that that slaps at the same time was also endearing. So like, I don't know how to take it. Um, the conversation from James would be very. I really don't have much to put forward.
Hmm, hmm,
We came out here for a purpose and we nailed it.
hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, and you're definitely not stopping for booze.
No.
Okay. So the four of you arrive back at the compound. There's work to be done. There's the fences need mending.
Oh, and shoring up too. If they were able to drive a van through, Josh is not happy about that, I imagine.
So in my mind, they never made it through your fortifications. They showed up, waved their guns around.
Like fired from the other side of the fence.
Right. And
Got
then
it.
also Melvin kind of uh came out with his gun, and like they were probably, if they killed anybody, it would have been Melvin.
Right.
But with your help, um, you know, that didn't go down that way. Um, so there's work to be done. There's also plaster that needs to be re-plastered right on the walls. Um, there's meals to be prepped for. Uh, eh, there's a lot of work that needs to happen in the compound. What are you doing? Um, as the day continues to kind of click by. How do you contribute? Do you contribute?
I think after everything's all said and done, I'd check the back of the truck, like when we got back, and see what state it's in. Is it completely goopified, or is there still like tangible parts of
It's
it?
there's no more, like, it's fully gooped. There are these kind of long straw. They look like these long king crab kind of like empty shells, right?
Okay.
Kind of grayish tan colored.
So
They look like bone.
like the chitin of it still kind of like tangible, but everything else inside and like exterior kind of just.
Yeah, everything. It's sort of um like the slime that comes out of okra.
Oh yeah, yeah. Ooh, okay. Cool, cool, cool. Probably not as tasty. I don't think James would try it.
Lick it, lick it.
Put your
Tempting.
mouth on it.
Put your mouth.
Mm.
Put your mouth on it. Over the rifle behind me. Okay. Well, this just turned into a very different film. No, I think I would
I've
inspect
seen
it
those documentaries.
a bit, but unless like anybody is like with him during that point or stops him, he's just gonna go right back inside afterwards, sit right back down in the quiet space he found, and get right back to being on the internet. Unless
Okay.
someone like literally is going to like honk or make a scene or say something to him and tell him to do something.
Yeah, so far nobody approaches you to, instruct you. Um, what about Cole and Josh and Willow?
I don't.
Go ahead.
I don't have anything good. You go.
I don't have anything good either. I mean, I guess I would be really interested in like what Naeli is up to and if he can help with that kind of stuff. Because
Yeah,
like,
so right now Nayeli And a lot of the women in not it's not just women anymore. A lot of the more kind of like domestically minded folks are gathered in the kitchen. They are mixing up um, dry treated cornmeal into big vats of cornmeal dough to make tortillas from scratch for tonight's meal. So it's like this sort of big community sort of like um, uh, endeavor. Vegetables are being chopped for the stew. Someone else is like, um, cutting up the chicken for the stew. There's people making sure that there's enough plates and utensils, and so that's kind of like Nayeli is sort of at the heart of that. Doing some of the work herself, kind of directing and um, what do you call it when you distribute the work? Delegating.
Hmm.
And she's got like it's very kind of like uh commune trad wife core. Like she's got her black hair up in like a, a handkerchief or whatever, and got an apron on. It's like stained. Um, so that's what Nayeli's up to right now.
Got it.
And you notice, of course, your dear wife Jenny right at her side.
Nice. Jenny helping with the masa,
Yeah.
right?
So so what are you doing then?
Um, I would have Kaylee with me,
Hmm.
maybe sort of walking about, keeping her
Hmm.
occupied.
Okay.
And just sort of maybe taking a stroll around. Is there anything that I find that would maybe that Cole would be good at, used to make himself useful other than, the childcare? He doesn't want to have anything to do with like guns, but he could
There
do other.
are other kids running around. So, I mean, you could help, kind of keep the kids out of people's hair. I know you said
Sure.
except for your,
Daycare dad.
yeah, I mean, there's like your child care of your kid, but then there's also other kids. Also, there's never enough hands uh to get some of this kitchen work done.
Okay. He would try to find a ball somewhere and
Okay.
maybe like start kicking the ball around with the kids, sort of keep them occupied that way.
That is so fucking cute. To think only like, less than 24 hours ago, you were like murdering some little old lady.
I know, right?
Okay. So
So
you,
now we learn Cole is ageist.
wow, yikes. So Cole, um, daddy daycare, Josh.
I imagine he's just doing his normal rounds.
Okay. Um, do you want to roll anything as if you're
Yeah,
doing,
do you want me to, can I just observe the compound?
yeah.
Uh, let's see. What should I be on the lookout for? And what currently poses the biggest threat?
Yeah, those are good questions. So one thing that as you are kind of walking around, observing people, something that begins to emerge in your mind is that you have seen, especially yesterday when you were, in this gunfight, that people have been willing to do anything for Isaiah.
Hmm.
And you look around you and you see a very different community than the community you arrived in. It seems a little bit, a little bit more liberated, a little bit freer. There's a little bit more like energy and sort of like movement and freedom, despite being sort of cloistered in this space. And you hope that nobody would be cynical enough to try and fake it and to do damage from within.
Got it. So that should be what I'm on the lookout for and our biggest threat.
Yeah, I think the biggest threat is it's not exactly physical. You look and everything is like sealed tight. It worked. It
Yep.
protected the community, but
If somebody were to infiltrate and unlock the gate.
and yeah, so what you need to be on the lookout for
Hmm.
is, people behaving strangely. Willow, go ahead and roll to influence other if you're still trying to like keep it together more than you are keeping it together if you're trying to pretend.
I don't think Willow is really trying to hold it back anymore.
Okay,
I'm not really trying to fool anybody anymore.
great.
I
So
want to be okay.
so if that's the case, then um one of the, someone that immediately comes to mind, Josh, is Willow. And you see Willow is acting irrationally and erratically. Um, that doesn't mean you know that, Willow is an infiltrator, but it's just something that pings for you.
Hmm.
Okay, so we'll take a beat. Now, Willow, what are you getting up to?
So I want to be like working on long term food storage. So
Okay,
rather than like being a part of like the community, whatever, I want to be like in my own room, just being in my sad. I would like hardtack, like canning stuff, just like making sure we're set long term in case we ever have to dig in.
okay, yeah, you are returning to your roots. Prepping, making sure uh, that the goods are not expired, inspecting cans for dents, etc., reviewing the logs, kind of like trying to find an antidote to your own instability, right?
Yep.
Um, okay. You get a text, Willow,
Oh boy.
um, from Craig Johnson, Officer Craig Johnson.
Oh god.
The text says, "When can I see you?" And all that we'll pause and take a little break.
Good, because I need time to think.
Wow.
Fuck's my next step.
For those of you that weren't around, Willow's seducing an officer while
Oh.
we were running around. Typical Willow behavior. Anyway, so is everyone okay if we take about 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, thank you. All right, and we're back. So, Willow, you get a text from, you know, I don't know. I don't even remember if Craig Johnson was hot or if he was just a useful patsy. Um, but he wants to see you again.
Yeah, I think he was just like a guy. Yeah, I don't think there was anything particularly special about him, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Are you gonna ghost him?
No, I think that's rude. Um, I'm just gonna string him along for 2 months until he stops calling. No,
Oh,
I'll text him and be like, hey, things are a little crazy right now. Maybe give me a couple of days and I'll see where I'm at. But it was good to hear from you.
uh, I'll wait for you as long as you need.
Whoa.
Um,
Whoa.
but I'm really excited to see you again soon. So let me know.
And I'll do the thing because I don't want to leave it on red. So I'll do the thing where you swipe it out of the notification panel before you click on it. So
Wow, you
it's
know what? And I thought Marsha was diabolical. Damn, demonic.
just never even saw it.
All right. So Willow, counting beans, um, stringing along a cop. I mean, you really can't have too much sympathy for him, you know, because ACAB. But you know, that's the way it goes sometimes.
That is the way it goes.
It is now nearing the midday, and Marsha, you get a call on the radio. Hey, Marsha. One of the customers asked to speak to the manager.
Okay, you're right there. Gonna look on the monitor.
Hmm.
Do to see where that employee is?
Hmm.
Do I recognize the person that's standing in front of her asking to speak to a manager?
Yeah, and kind of like with her hair kind of wrapped up in like a babushka, you know, kind of tied up, knotted at the chin or throat, and like with big sunglasses, kind of curly, dyed red hair, and like a very ancient face, very short old lady. You see your mother-in-law, Rose, your
Oh,
ex-mother-in-law, Rose.
what the hell? Okay, gonna gonna go down there. But I'm gonna pretend like I don't know it's her. And I'm gonna be like, ma'am, you wanted to speak to a manager?
Marsha,
Yes.
don't play young, don't play dumb, girl. You know who it is.
So I'm gonna like grab her arm and pull her to like, the part of the store no one shops in at Buc-ee's. It has the cooler, not the coolers, but there's that aisle of men's stuff that
Yeah.
no one buys.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I'm gonna,
It's kind of like everything kind of has a thin layer of dust on it.
yes, I'm gonna
Okay.
take her to that part of the store.
You know, Rose is very old and weak and is easily dragged. Oh, Marsha, unhand me. What has gotten into you?
Shh, be quiet. What are you doing here?
Marsha, I'm here on behalf of our community, I've come to offer you our apology.
Marsha's gonna roll her eyes.
There's a place for you.
The Last Dance looks really good.
The last one.
The Dancing Queen.
You're unmuted.
Zach, you're not muted.
Oh, sorry.
Dancing
Yeah.
Queen.
Is
It's
the
okay.
ABBA.
dancing queen?
You're there's a place for you back home. Um, we've seen the error of our ways, and we want you back, Marcia. I don't think my son is ever, he's moved on. He has a family now, but you don't have to be alone. You can come back to us. I promise things will be different.
I'm not alone anymore, Rose. I found community here. I found a church that doesn't treat me the way that you all treated me.
We were blind. I see that now. We see that now. And what church? One of these reformist churches, you know, their teachings are not real. They make up their own books. They don't follow the Bible. Not the real Bible. The real unerring King James version. That is where truth is, not in those crazy scriptures they invent.
Oh my
Please,
gosh,
Marcia.
you sound like my grandmother for real, for real. She says that all the time.
She does?
Yeah, she says the King James Bible is the only true Bible.
That's amazing. I'm
Okay,
channeling
sorry.
her.
I felt it.
That's the real horror.
It's my grandmother. Um, they've shown me things. I've seen things. I've seen God's work. I This church is doing some amazing things, and I can't go back there to a community, not just a few people, but a whole community that outcasts me for something that wasn't my fault. And everyone here accepts me, and there's someone special here that I need to bear witness to.
What are you talking about, Marcia? What do you mean someone special?
Not in that way. They just they they can do things, and they have God's light about them. And I feel like I need to be near this person. Like they might be able to perform miracles.
Marcia, that sounds like the devil's work, like witchcraft.
It's not. They saved me from the devil's work. Which, might I add, what are you all into something that you're not supposed to be?
What do you mean, Marcia?
I don't know how to say it, but demons have been coming after me. And they keep talking about the church that you go to.
Marcia, it sounds like you need help. Come back home. There's a psychiatrist that's moved in to town. I'm sure he could help you.
No, I have to stay here.
I'm warning you, Marcia. If you don't come of your own accord, you might get hurt. And the people around you might get hurt.
Is that code, what, Rose, for that you're gonna send more of those demons after me?
It's very sad, Marcia, that you have become so sick and yet are unable to accept help when it is offered to you.
I don't, I don't feel like you're genuine. If you were genuine, you would have brought your son here with you to apologize to me.
Marcia, this is our first and last warning.
Maybe I will come. Maybe I will come back. And maybe I'll bring God's holy light with me so you can see for yourself.
I would love for you to come back. When does your shift end? We can leave now, today.
No, no. I need to think about it.
Well, don't think too long, Marcia.
Well, I gotta get back to work. Will you tell my mother I said never?
Your mother's heart breaks for the way the community treated you. I'm sure that when you return, the two of you can heal together, guided by God's true word.
Well, my phone number has never changed and she's never called, so whatever you say, Rose.
Well, I hope we'll see you soon then. Don't tarry, Marcia. Remember my warnings to you. She separates from you and starts to make her way out of the store.
I'm gonna watch her walk all the way to her car. I want to see if she's alone.
She's not alone. Um, there is like this kind of like big burly kind of uh kind of you know, small town Texan looking dude. Big, burly, balding, a little goofy faced. You recognize him. He's been part of your church. And they drive away.
What's his name? Dustin.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
hit me. That is fucking sick. And that is now his name. All right.
I just imagine Rose, my little grandmother, walking up. Good job, Shisho.
Your phone rings.
My phone?
Hmm.
Do I know the number?
It is not a number you know.
I'm gonna put it to voicemail.
You hear your mom's voice. Marcia, I wish I could explain everything to you, the way that things happened. It's all very confusing. It's been a hard time without you. I hope that you will reconsider and that you'll come home. Um, and I miss you, and I'm sorry. Click.
Gonna delete it.
Well, okay.
But then I'm gonna save that number as mom.
Okay. Your shift ends. Do you kind of like give Josh a heads up about when you're gonna leave for the day so we can
Uh,
pick you up?
oh yeah, I would text Josh that I get off at such and such time.
Josh, do you bring an escort or do you go alone?
Sorry, I don't think I bring anyone with me.
Okay.
Go pick up Marsha.
Okay.
Before I run out to Josh's truck, I would look around and see if Rose's car was anywhere in the parking lot.
You do not see Rose's car anywhere. You can you can roll. No, never mind. You don't see Rose's car anywhere.
Okay. Then I'd run. I'd like. I would still be like thinking, oh, she could still be out there, so I'd run to the car real fast.
Okay.
But I will have bought a Bucky shirt and changed my shirt so that
Okay.
maybe she wouldn't know it was me.
Okay. Do you explain what happened?
Oh yeah, I would tell Josh that my mother-in-law, she came up today and she's threatening me. Josh, I think maybe that church is sending these creatures. She's,
Hmm, then you think it's time we go pay that church there a visit? I mean, if they're getting bold enough to go visit you at work, we can't have that now.
if we go, I don't want to go without Cole. I would feel safer with him.
We go with Cole, we go with James. Maybe we can get Freya even too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to bring I, only if they want to come. I don't want to force other people.
Of
But if
course.
Cole won't come, then I'm not going. I'll feel safer with him.
Then
Right.
I suggest we get on back to the compound and ask.
Okay. Oh, but I would tell Josh the car that they were driving as best as I could tell what it was.
Okay.
Just because I would think Josh would care to know if he sees
Josh
that
does.
car.
Makes a note of it.
Okay. It's like uh, a very kind of outdated old pickup truck model. Ford. Blue. Rusty. There's like there's like a little Jesus fish decal on the back.
Because
But not the one with the legs.
That is not a Jesus fish, my friend. That is not a
What
fish.
is that?
It's the evolution fish or
I
evolution creature. It's not a fish.
got it.
And then you head home. There's like a moment when you're on the highway where suddenly there's not that many cars on the road. It's just you driving, through this very Texan um kind of stretch of road where there's just kind of like farm on one side and wood on the other side, sort of in between the um the area where Bucky's is and the suburb where the Youngs live. And um either of you or both of you can roll to observe if you like.
Oh, roll.
What seems strange about this?
Okay. Josh, you think it's very weird that suddenly that there's no cars. Like it's it's like barely between 6 and 7 p.m. There should be people on the road.
He flips open the glove box and I imagine because Marsha's in the front seat,
Hmm.
pulls out a pistol and hands it to her. I think you better get this here ready.
Uh,
Marsha, you can ask a question if you would like to pay a price for it.
never. Marsha doesn't pay prices.
Little bargain with the devil
And when
on this house.
and when Josh hands her the gun, she holds it flat in her hand. So it's just sitting in her hand, and she's like, she doesn't know what she's supposed to do.
Um, Out of the corner of your eye, uh, Josh, you see one of the larger creatures, bulbous, large, and kind of its gelatinous shape, sort of um, like wobbling as it gallops on its spiny legs towards the truck. What do you do?
Uh, Point to it and say, you want to take some shots or you want to drive?
I'll drive. I don't even know how to use this.
Fantastic. Takes the gun from her and assumes she's gonna grab the steering wheel, and he just starts popping shots through the side window.
So
Yep.
both of you are going to need to roll act under pressure.
We got this, Josh.
For sure.
Partial.
Partial.
Hold on, let's see. Josh, you get a full success because of your observe.
Oh shit. Yeah, I get an extra +2.
Yeah. So Marsha, you are you just grabbing onto the wheel?
I would say that I'm probably grabbing onto the wheel and I'm making my feet towards the pedals. Like I'm gonna assume that
This is a complicated dance, a
yeah.
delicate dance.
Eh, that's what
Um,
cruise control is for, though, honestly.
Is she going for the
Oh yeah,
ride?
true.
Like, there's no reason Josh can't throw it into cruise control, take his feet off of the pedals, and like start sliding up in the seat to get on top of it, so she can slide her feet along the floor onto the pedals, and then he can like hop up over top of her.
yeah,
Yeah, but
that's what I was looking for.
which
So, Marcia, y'all are able to do this maneuver, um, but don't do it perfectly. I mean, you're not a fucking trained, uh, stunt person or whatever. So you swerve and the truck, um, well, I guess if it's driving fast, if it makes impact, it's gonna like spin,
Roll.
right?
Yeah.
So we'll say that you accidentally swerve into the creature instead of away from it. And like Josh, as you are sliding into the passenger seat and starting to like aim to fire at it, like it's like bulbous form just kind of slams against the side of the truck, shattering the windshield. Roll to avoid injury. And you still have your +2 to this. Okay,
Success.
perfect. So you're kind of showered in glass, but you're not harmed. And now, if you want, you can act. You can try to engage in violence,
Yeah.
engage in
Engage
combat.
in combat. Oh, I didn't. I took the +2 off.
Okay, so you gain a success. You're able to like tear through it with your pistol.
Yeah, I took the pistol
Okay,
from Marsha.
so it's still galloping. Um, and there's another one coming up behind you on the driver's side.
Yep. Without reloading, he drops the pistol onto the floor of the truck, takes a shotgun from the rack behind him, and leans out the window to take a shot with the shotgun at
Okay,
the other one.
okay. Roll to engage in combat.
Is this +2 still, right? I'll put it back on
Yes, yeah.
so it rolls correctly. No, partial success with the +2.
Okay. So the one that is close to you, kind of lunges forward. Go ahead and roll to avoid injury.
Failure.
Okay. So you're too slow. It's like uh its form like slams into the car, and because it's so gelatinous, it like kind of squeezes through
Mm.
and sort of like forms like a stopper, and it like gets stuck in the shattered window. And you as you kind of like raise your arm to like shield yourself, its disgusting mouth uh kind of like uh its teeth kind of like uh what's the word? It can't like bite you, like there's no jaw, but its maw kind of like slams against you, and its teeth like dig into your arm. Roll to endure injury.
How much harm?
We'll say 2 harm. Ah, that's a bad roll.
That is a bad roll.
All right. So if you like, you can, let's say you receive you choose. Would you like to be knocked out, Would you like to receive a critical wound, or would you like to die?
Uh, well, dying doesn't seem appropriate to lose to this
I mean,
thing.
it's always an option.
It is on the table. Um, let's 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 take a critical wound and keep fighting.
Okay. So, critical wound. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it in, and we're gonna say it's a. It is a deep laceration. So, the teeth like dig into your arm and scrape away the flesh. And you are bleeding pretty severely. Um, Marcia, what do you do as this thing has lodged itself into the window?
Oh, I'm screaming.
Okay.
Screaming, and I'm like,
Roll to keep it together.
no, that
Roll
sounds
to scream.
very appropriate.
Scream is a free action.
But you know what, Marcia, Jeffs, you have nerves of fucking steel, bitch. You cannot be shaken. You scream, you let out your terror, and then you are back. You snap back to reality. Your dear friend Josh has suffered an injury. You've got these gross things chasing you. You've got your foot, on the oh my God, car words.
Accelerator.
On the accelerator. What do you do next?
Car words.
I'm gonna put the pedal all the way to the floor. Go.
Okay. Roll to act under pressure.
Okay. Ooh, partial.
Okay, so you hit the accelerator, you hit the gas, you speed forward. The thing that was lodged into the window, it like gets knocked off balance and its legs like fly up into the air and kind of trail behind it as you kind of drag it along with you. Um, the other one seems to be, you seem to be leaving it behind. Um, you are you are very close now to the exit to the compound. Um, what do you do? Do you take the exit or do you keep driving?
I would yell out to Josh and ask, to the compound or to the hospital?
Josh died. Oh, sorry.
Probably a hospital. I'm still fighting this thing, right?
Yeah, it's like it doesn't seem to be able to do much. It's kind of like just stuck. Um, its legs are kind of flailing in the air behind it, but it doesn't really seem to be able to like propel itself deeper into the car. It's just kind of stuck there.
Hmm.
So I mean, you could, if there's nothing stopping you from putting another shotgun shell into it.
Yeah, that's what I would like to do. If
Okay.
it's still moving, fuck this thing.
Yeah, I won't even let you won't even have to roll. It's like immobilized. So you just, put another shotgun shell in it and it explodes as the fluid leaks out and into the car. It kind of deflates and sort of flies out the window and rolls into the road. And Marcia drives um Josh to the hospital.
I hope so.
Yeah.
It's another critical wound that needs to get healed up.
Okay. You make it. There's this sort of like weird feeling that passes through the both of you, and suddenly you look around and it's like there's cars again. There's like things feel kind of normal again. And you're able to navigate your way to kind of like the closest emergency room.
I would tell Josh in the car. She said that if I didn't come back, that I don't remember her exact words, but it felt threatening. I, I feel like she did this.
Your mother-in-law?
My ex-mother-in-law. But yes. Sorry, Josh.
I'm just glad I was here for you. I don't know how you would have done this in your car. Oh, it hurts.
I feel like this just keeps happening to you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you think I'd get used to it?
Premium acting. We should charge for this. Okay, so Marsha and Josh arriving at the hospital. Do y'all let anybody know where you are?
Josh doesn't think too.
I feel like this is more of a private matter. So I don't know. Mm-mm.
Okay. Nayeli, both of your phones start pinging. Nayeli texts you, Marsha. Hey, we were gonna have another reading club visit. Where are you? What's going on?
Mm. Because she texts, I would say Josh and I were attacked on the way home. I wouldn't say that we think it's my mother-in-law, but I would
Hmm.
say we were attacked on the way home. Josh was really hurt, so we're at the hospital and we'll come home after.
You don't get a reply from Nayeli.
Oh God.
We're in trouble. uh,
Josh, like on your phone, you get like the bubble of like Nayeli typing to you, then Melvin typing to you, then Nayeli typing to you, and then it stops.
yep,
Okay.
sounds about right.
You are treated for your wound. It's probably almost 10 p.m. by the time all of that is done. Willow and Cole and um Willow and Cole and James. The three of you have an opportunity to sit in on a book club. This used to be the women's Bible study, women's book club. It has been integrated into a general book club for all parishioners that are interested to join and that are, you know, kind of vouched for by Nayeli. All of you are invited to join. Marsha was invited to join. Joshua was invited. He's not much of a bookworm, so there was no expectation that he necessarily would be there.
Yeah, Josh don't read so good.
Right. Do the three of you agree to join in the book club?
Sure, it's
Cole
perfect.
does, without a
Perfect
doubt.
for him to talk to me. Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, I think Willow would be there as well.
Okay. So during book club, um,
I think if everybody is going, Josh would go as well, but with the expectation he doesn't say much.
Josh can't go because he's in the hospital.
Oh, right. I'm still getting treated.
Yeah.
Weird.
So this is all occurring while Marsha and Josh are in the hospital. So you were invited, but you miss
Yeah,
it.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So Nayeli and some of the other women, including Jenny, uh, share um, these writings that were discovered from the first prophet about uh, the force that feeds the powers of this community, that is the fountain of awareness, of hidden knowledge, and of awakening. One of the things that you learn is that the prophet initially, before his teachings were hidden and kind of distorted, came to learn from Malkuth that the God of the Old Testament was a tyrant, and that originally Jesus Christ awakened his first disciples to resist the illusion imposed by this tyrannical so-called God. Originally, Christ was created by and served this tyrant, but learned to defy him. Christ, then, and Malkuth are one and the same. And with this sacred knowledge, the people of this community can learn to awaken and to work miracles. Everybody in this group gains a new advantage. Dabbler in the occult. Or wait, is that what it is? Yeah. So now everyone here is able to, utilizing Nayeli's guidance, using um, the scriptures that Nayeli has secured, may be able to use ritual
Nice.
to make things happen.
Cool. Could I ask a question?
Yeah.
So when Nelly said that Christ and Malkuth are one and the same, did she mean that they are sort of metaphorically similar, or that they are literally the same being?
They're literally the same.
Mhm.
Christ is an avatar of this sacred um force that that awakens.
And so Cole would be thinking to himself, well, what does that mean when Naeli said that the awakening spirit of Malkuth is burgeoning within him?
He could ask.
I would ask her, yeah.
It means, Cole, that the miracles that are promised to us by awakening, by Malkuth, by Christ himself, they are developing within you. For some reason, reasons that we cannot always understand or explain, you are chosen. You, as part of this community, people that have, you know, uh, carried on the secret knowledge of our initial prophet and of the sacred words of Malkuth and her avatar Christ, we are able to channel abilities that boggle the mind.
So he would. So this is a force of good,
Of course,
and his voice would sort of break a little bit. And but I burned that lady, burned her.
you are in a group of people that are not all part of like your unit, your close
Oh,
group.
oh, oh, oh.
Are you willing to go that far and to you can?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So people around you kind of gasp, like, oh, what? What? What do you mean? What? Do you explain what you mean by that in a
Mm-hmm,
way? Okay,
mm-hmm,
that like you unleashed, holy radiance and killed Isaiah's archivist.
mm-hmm,
Some people look at you with awe,
mm-hmm.
some with fear. Um, some probably see in you a someone that has fought and drawn blood for the good of the community by beating back Isaiah's grip. Nayeli says, we are entering a phase of human history that will test all of us. The fantasy that was sold to us about good and evil and heaven and hell, it was only that, a fantasy, an illusion. When we serve Malkuth's agenda, which is to liberate humanity from the chains that have been imposed on us, then we are doing the right thing. I'm sorry, Cole, that you had to have the terrible, that you had to pay a terrible price in taking life. You don't deserve that. But lives will be taken again as we approach the end days.
I don't want to be a weapon. I want to help.
The gospel of Malkuth is to be free and to make your choice. I don't want you to be a weapon either. But when the time comes to defend your church, your own life, the time to defend your
Yeah.
wife or your child,
Hmm.
then you will turn with gratitude to the gifts that Malkuth and her avatar, Christ, have bestowed on you and us.
Hmm. Yeah.
Willow and um, James, did you add that advantage? Did
Oh,
you can drag and drop it
Yep, I have.
from the soul folder in the advantages folder? Do you have any questions for Nayeli? Any thoughts as you kind of, you know, see Cole out himself as a killer to the community?
I think the questions that Willow has right now just they can't be answered. So I think Willow's largely just absorbing right now.
How do you know they can't be answered?
I
Oh,
think it's
like can I trust XYZ or
or even just like they're like philosophical questions about
Hmm.
like what why are we doing this? What's the end goal? Where does it end? Like there's no clear path through any of this. There's no right decision in any of this, and Willow's just in their own funk at the moment.
Yeah, I guess voicing that would really reveal you as doubting Nayeli's agenda, which is probably not a great idea.
Right.
Okay. So Willow listens and observes. What about James?
yeah, it's I'm not. I nope. I do not want to be involved in that conversation. I'm good.
What does James think about these revelations? I think, I mean, we've seen James go from this very kind of mild, uh, kind of church-going faith of like, this is my what's tradition, this is how I was raised, I don't rock the boat, I do my job, I go to church on Sundays, I toe the line, and then as things like unravel, you know, we don't, where, how does that affect his view of like, of his place or not even his like what is James's kind of view of like that spiritual or like cosmic reality that has been pretty much
I think for James at this
mhm,
moment, this very moment,
uh-huh.
the thought was originally, I feel bad for Cole because he did that, but he saved me. And then Cole basically put it out there like it was just the event of him killing the lady with the shotgun, and that was more important. And he would, if he had to go back, he would do it over. He would let me get shot. So that's one thought that's in his head.
Well, it's not sure that's not what happened, but okay.
Kinda.
I mean, I wouldn't go back and let you die,
Oh no,
but
I know, I know, I
he's
know. But again,
struggling with what
it's a
happened.
thought that it's an internal thought with James. Obviously, we can't have that until I jump into your dreams. Then we can have that conversation. But we'll get there. Um, I would say that that thought is present at current, but the other thing that he noticed is when Cole basically put himself out there in Revelation and was very kind of torn about what was stated. Naeli's guidance sounded just like what I presume hears every Sunday from the pastor, from the prophet. It was sidestepping the feelings that are coming from Cole and overloading with, well, that's just the way it is, doctrinally. And so in James's mind, we're really just kind of in a situation where if we follow Naeli, we're just kind of changing one church for another, and he's just coming to grasp with that. And so I kind of deciding in his head that that's fine, that's fine.
With one key difference, which is that Nayeli is willing to kind of like open up the cookbook and let you
Sure.
see how the pie is made. And, you know, I guess that is how James will grapple with that piece is kind of like the next thing that I'm curious about. So we're not there yet because it's where everyone's still in shock, right? You are just now in this moment realizing that Nayeli is just another prophet.
Right. And I guess,
And yeah.
well, sorry, to kind of cope with or cut to the idea of she's willing to show what's kind of behind the veil there, in a sense. Um, her tutelage of someone who was genuinely asking, like, about their position regarding that power from beyond the veil
Hmm.
was the thing that James is most apprehensive about at current. It was a, yeah, there was no like just working towards the emotions of the person who did it. It was more of, you don't want to be a weapon, but it was kind of like you are, but like
Yeah,
in a bunch of like fluffy language for
right,
James. And
right.
so James's mentality is like, I feel doubly bad for Cole, but at the same time, I don't think I'm going to approach him because he also just kind of made it sound. And again, I know out of character, me and you both know, great. But James is of the mind that like Cole wouldn't have given, like he might have gone back on it. He might have done something different in that
Mm.
moment.
Does it appear to you in these moments too that Cole is drinking the Kool-Aid?
Um, so I don't know Cole very well.
Hmm.
I'm definitely more familiar with Willow, and Willow's like, I don't think Willow has like a tell, right, Cody? Like there's no like, you know, I am lying kind of gesture or something.
Yeah, it's very fluid
Yeah.
when Willow lies. So
But I think that James has kind of caught on to the fact that Willow is kind of this very hard to kind of get a hold of
Hmm.
individual when it comes to like trying to form a meeting of the minds. Um, and when it comes to Cole, everything Cole has said and done feels very just rooted in simplicity. And I don't mean that to sound bad, like just comparing it to James, like James who's
Hmm.
like thinking about the story, thinking about like the perspective of everything inwards, thinking about like the scene. I think Cole is more of a person who's thinking about what's important to him. So in this moment, like I think that he'd probably see Cole's like, attempt to get answers and be vulnerable, and also
Hmm.
see Cole's like just reaction to it as not so much like a drinking the Kool Aid, just a kind of coming to grasps with the moment still. Like
Okay.
he,
Okay.
like James, isn't over it.
As the group the book club comes to a close, um everybody kind of starts to go their own way. You are approached, James is approached by Nayeli. Um, hey James, you know, I've been thinking about what you said the other day about um drinking and alcohol, and I do think that it's time for us to lift the prohibition. I mean, I'm certainly not keeping anybody, from drinking or eating or drinking whatever they want. But I don't think anybody's really said anything about it. Or, there's not like an announcement made. We haven't talked about it as a community. And
Sure.
so um I wanted you to have this. And she pulls from her big canvas purse uh a like bottle of kind of um you know uh standard quality gin. um I know that you've been through a lot, and I can never hope to understand some of the terrible things that um that the church has done to you and to your family. um but I'm here if you ever want to talk.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Thanks, Naomi. Really great lessons in there. A lot of eye-opening stuff there. I'll probably dabble with it a bit more when I get a chance. Definitely on the top of my mind. He'll take the bottle, kind of look at it, kind of smile. Um,
Mhm.
since we're lifting prohibitions, what would be a good place to smoke? Probably not in the house, right? Like outside.
Yeah, I mean there are kids in the house.
I can do it like behind the tents over that way.
Yeah, I'm sure Josh won't mind if you smoke by
Sure.
his
Hey,
tents.
where is he? Anyways, he out there? Like, and I just kind of start walking towards the door.
Um, he's running an errand with
Okay.
Marsha.
He he goes outside, and yeah, he'll kind of go near to where he knows Josh typically hangs out. No, he doesn't
Mhm.
because he hasn't been here that long. So he just goes out and he finds a spot like away from the house and smokes and drinks.
And, as the smoke rises up into the kind of starry evening, we will call it for tonight. Next week, I'm traveling, so see you in a couple weeks.
Absolutely. Good night, folks.
Bye.
Stop the stream.